sat beside Chen Xiao in the back. Her long legs, clad in black stockings, were aligned toward him. Chen Xiao stole a glance before averting his gaze. Once seated, Lin Yinran's short skirt appeared even shorter, prompting her to instinctively tug it down. Chen Xiao sighed. That action was counterproductive, as it only fueled his imagination. He turned to look at her and, with a swift motion, tossed his removed jacket onto her lap. "Cover yourself with this." Lin Yinran responded. At Jining International Airport, a Gulfstream G650 business jet awaits quietly, ready for your inspection. Under the glow of the lights, the aircraft appeared exquisitely luxurious. Its streamlined body could accommodate up to 18 passengers and boasted a range of over 13,000 kilometers, valued at over 400 million. It was the fastest subsonic civilian aircraft. Upon entering, Chen Xiao noted that it was similar to Lu Xianyi's jet, albeit with slight layout differences. As it was the latest model. "Not bad, it will do," Chen Xiao commented. Lin Yinran remarked, "You consider a 400 million aircraft merely acceptable?" The luxury and refinement of this jet are beyond reproach. In the current domestic landscape, there are not many individuals who possess a private aircraft, particularly one as opulent as the Airbus A380, which Chen Xiao dreams of transforming into a veritable airborne palace. However, acquiring such a marvel necessitates a custom order from the French headquarters, rendering it an elusive aspiration for the time being. With a private jet, travel would undoubtedly become more convenient. Chen Xiao instructed, "Please arrange a flight route to Lijiang for tomorrow." "Yes, sir," came the reply. After spending a brief moment aboard the aircraft, Chen Xiao disembarked, preparing to leave. Just as he stepped off the plane, he noticed the flight crew hurrying towards him. "Apologies. Sir, we are late." Chen Xiao smiled. "It's quite all right. I only came to take a quick look. There was no need to notify you." As I am not here, to just then, Lu Wanning, the half-sister of Lu Xian, appeared, surprised to see Chen Xiao. "Is this your plane?" "Indeed, it is," Chen Xiao affirmed. "What a remarkable coincidence," Lu Wanning exclaimed. Chen Xiao chuckled. "Perhaps this is fate." With a smile, Lu Wanning replied, "I am delighted to be at your service." Chen Xiao responded, "Thank you. We will have ample time to interact in the future. I have matters to attend to, so I must take my leave." "Of course, Mr. Chen. Take care," she said as he nodded and departed with his entourage. After walking a short distance, he turned to Lin Yinran and instructed, "Replace the entire flight crew before tomorrow." Lin Yinran was taken aback, struggling to comprehend the sudden shift. Just moments ago, the boss had been conversing pleasantly with Lu Wanning. "Oh, understood," she stammered. Lin Yinran was perplexed by Chen Xiao's motives, primarily due to her lack of understanding regarding Lu Xingchen. Given the extreme lengths Chen Xiao went to in order to pursue one of his daughters, it was likely that Lu Xingchen would react even more vehemently if Lu Wanning became involved. Chen Xiao would certainly not invite a formidable adversary with global influence into his life over a mere woman. Chapter 386. A busy year-end only moments ago. Lu Wanning had been anticipating how her future interactions with Chen Xiao would unfold, but soon thereafter, she received a notice of termination, which affected the entire crew. Others might not mind, as they had compensation to fall back on, but Lu Wanning felt a deep sense of injustice, believing that her presence had led to the crew's dismissal. A wave of unexplainable grievance washed over her. Echoing in her mind was Chen Zhao's remark about having plenty of time to spend together in the future. Biting her lip, her eyes glistened with unshed tears. "Lu Xianyi, does having a boyfriend make you special? I shall find a man who is wealthier and more outstanding than yours. Just wait and see." Meanwhile, Lu Xianyi sat in the sunroom, reading in a rocking chair when she suddenly sneezed, rubbing her adorable little nose. She picked up her phone and sent Chen Xiao a text. "I think I might be coming down with a cold. I just sneezed." Shortly thereafter, she received a reply. "That must mean I am thinking of you." Lu Xianyi was taken aback, a smile blooming on her lips. "When will you come to visit me?" "The year-end is quite busy for the company. Perhaps after the new year," he replied. Pouting slightly, Lu Xianyi responded with a simple "oh" and returned to her reading. Meanwhile, in the spacious apartment at Binjiang No. 1, Shi Yunru cast a wistful glance back at Chen Xiao. "Where can one find someone like you, still sending messages to others at this hour?" Chen Xiao chuckled, acknowledging the end-of-year busyness at the company, with numerous matters demanding attention. The past year of encountering Chen Xiao has brought significant changes for Shi Yunru. The most profound transformation has been her evolution from a girl into a woman. She has discovered a career she is passionate about and has diligently pursued it. Though it may be exhausting, the rewards are equally substantial, often amounting to billions. In the realm of film and television, She has also achieved certain accomplishments without needing to engage in risque or ambiguous scenes, nor has she encountered any unwritten rules. She possesses the freedom to select scripts at will and portray any character she adores. Although her status in the industry is modest, she has unknowingly evoked envy among numerous prominent stars within the entire film company, from investors to directors and other staff. All are eager to greet Shi Yunru upon meeting her. Most are unaware of her true backing. They simply know she is formidable and not to be trifled with. There was once a brash young director who, after inviting Shi Yunru to a hotel audition in the morning, found himself in the hospital by afternoon. Shi Yunru's standing has been built upon a series of astonishing incidents such as this, which have established her formidable reputation, making it so that no one dares to cast a glance her way, leaving the envious and petty to avoid her entirely. Yet, within the confines of her home, her status is entirely different. She is not only catered to but also subject to whims. As the sun sets, it seems to unleash the beauty accumulated throughout the day, blossoming at this twilight moment, painting half the sky in a dreamlike hue. On the balcony lounge chair, Shi Yunru nestles beside Chen Xiao, admiring the enchanting scenery. In this moment, her world is enveloped in tranquility, as if it is just the two of them. Observing Shi Yunru's exquisite figure, Chen Xiao reminisces about the little moments they have shared. Yunru, would you consider having a child with me? Shi Yunru is momentarily taken aback. The terms of their initial relationship were clear: no children, no marriage. Yet, this time, she refrains from outright refusal. May I take some time to consider? Chen Xiao nods and places a gentle kiss on her forehead. Changing a person's beliefs and steadfastness is no simple feat. Shi Yunru's hesitation to decline immediately suggests she has thoroughly contemplated her feelings, and there is room for negotiation on this matter. Progress must always be gradual. Just as their relationship began with mere embraces, it has gradually evolved into what it is today. Oh, by the way, darling, please wait for me a moment. After saying this, Shi Yunru rises, adjusting her sleepwear, and rushes back inside. Moments later, she returns with a box in hand. What is this? Chen Xiao inquires with a smile. It's a gift, one I bought with my own earnings. Although your ability to earn is orchestrated by me, she adds, her voice diminishing with a hint of insecurity. Ha ha ha. Chen Xiao chuckles. Do not think that way. It has nothing to do with me. You have put in the effort and reaped the rewards. This is only right. Upon finishing her words, she opened the box to reveal a watch. A Patek Philippe? Hee hee. Do you like it? Shi Yunru asked as she wrapped her arms around Chen Xiao's neck. Chen Xiao picked it up and was taken aback. It was the Starry Sky model. He had heard it cost over 2 million. This woman was indeed generous. She had only earned that amount from a few films after taxes, and she spent it all on a watch? Wasn't that a bit extravagant? It was rare for such a sentiment to escape Chen Xiao's lips. Shi Yunru took the watch and carefully fastened it around Chen Xiao's wrist. She lifted his hand to admire it, declaring it a perfect fit, and it looked exquisite. Chen Xiao smiled and promptly swept her up in his arms. Ah, what are you doing? Shi Yunru exclaimed. You've gifted me a watch worth 2 million. I feel compelled to reward you with a few billion in return, he replied. After dinner, Chen Xiao retrieved 10 cards from his bag and handed them to Shi Yunru. You can't return home empty-handed for the new year. You should honor your parents. Shi Yunru was momentarily stunned. A stack of bank cards? I have money, she stammered. Chen Xiao responded, having money is one thing, but one must have disposable income. Take them. He handed her 10 cards because each contained 1 million. He had arranged for these in advance, intending to share with close friends. However, given Shi Yunru's lavishness, he felt it appropriate to be a bit more generous. Though she attempted to decline, Chen Xiao gently tucked the cards into her collar. Wrap up work early and get some rest. I have matters to attend to, so I must take my leave. His women were always understanding, never prying into his whereabouts. Shi Yunru embraced Chen Xiao deeply, watching him depart. Standing on the balcony, she gazed at the starry night, her delicate hand instinctively brushing her flat abdomen. After leaving Binjiang No. 1, Chen Xiao headed straight to the airport, embarking on an overnight journey to Lijiang. As the year drew to a close, not only were his employees working tirelessly, but Chen Xiao, as their boss, was equally drained. Fortunately, his robust health provided him with ample stamina for his endeavors. Upon reaching the airport, a brand new flight crew awaited him. The flight attendants were stunning, with sweet smiles and melodious voices, eagerly offering Chen Xiao personalized service. The spacious seats in the cabin allowed for complete comfort, creating an ambience distinctively intimate. After seeking Chen Xiao's consent, the Gulfstream 650 began taxiing for takeoff. Though significantly smaller than a medium-sized passenger aircraft that could carry hundreds, its price far exceeded that of such planes. The comfort it offered was incomparable, akin to the stark difference between a public bus and Chen Zhao's luxurious Mercedes-Benz 600. Chapter 387. A necessary restoration of honor. Chen Zhao dozed off in the sofa chair, only to be gently awakened by a flight attendant over 2 hours later. Mr. Chen, we are about to land. Oh, thank you. I appreciate your efforts, he replied. The flight attendant smiled softly, saying, It's my duty. No need for thanks. Meanwhile, at Lijiang International Airport, a large group awaited silently on the tarmac, including several dozen bodyguards in black suits, alongside a contingent of men who exuded an intimidating presence. Regardless of whether they are bodyguards or a group of intimidating men, all exhibit utmost respect toward a striking beauty draped in traditional attire. Sistering, perhaps you should wait in the car to avoid catching a chill. It will be difficult to explain to Brother Xiao later, one suggested. It is challenging for outsiders to fathom that these hulking figures, adorned with intricate tattoos and bearing scars, possess a gentle and considerate side. Sunning slightly raised her gaze to the sky and replied, No, I'm not cold. Observing her disinterest in further conversation, Ma Biao wisely stood aside in silence. Ever since he had been subdued by Chen Xiao, Ma Biao had witnessed an entirely new world, no longer engaging in reckless bravado over trifles. He now serves as the security manager for a hotel group in Snow Mountain Town, having removed all visible tattoos after donning a suit. At work, he sports a pair of rimless glasses, presenting a markedly different visage from his former self. When he returned home for the holidays, his mother almost failed to recognize him, exclaiming in pride, My son has truly made something of himself, which only inflated Ma Biao's sense of accomplishment. Before long, a flickering light appeared in the sky above the airport. Sun Ying's assistant announced, Sister Ying, Mr. Chun's plane has arrived. Sun Ying nodded, her beautiful eyes brimming with anticipation. Shortly thereafter, the aircraft touched down, and a smile began to grace Sun Ying's lips. For the first time, Ma Biao beheld a private jet, his eyes widening in astonishment. Wow, forget luxury cars and mansions. This is the true toy of the affluent, dressed in casual attire. Chen Xiao descended from the steps of the plane and embraced Sun Ying. Senior sister, I feel you've lost weight, he remarked. No, it's just that you haven't seen me in a while, Sun Ying replied with a smile. Chen Xiao scrutinized her delicate features, noting that she appeared noticeably thinner than before, reminiscent of the glamorous stars on television. You're mistaken. If you were to record a television program now, you'd surely shine on camera. Sun Ying responded, A 1 TB recording. The company is quite busy. See, I told you not to overexert yourself, he teased. Hee hee. Just kidding. Let us go. I've missed you, Sun Ying whispered in Chen Xiao's ear. Chen Xiao felt a stir within him. Ahem, let us go, he said, engaging Sun Ying in conversation while ensuring no one intruded upon their moment. The bodyguards attentively observed their surroundings, but Ma Biao and his companions were oblivious. Hey, don't climb on the plane. Get down, the pilot shouted. To everyone's surprise, Ma Biao and his group were scaling the landing gear. Chen Xiao looked at the scene in disbelief. What on earth are you doing climbing the plane? Ma Biao hurried over, a grin plastered on his face. Hey, Brother Xiao, this is incredible. How much does it cost? I've never seen anything like it. Chen Xiao regarded these former ruffians, now transformed, with a sense of nostalgia. Yet, their occasional antics still betrayed their previous mischief. Not expensive, just over 400 million. Ma Biao's eyes widened in astonishment. Over 400 million? I can't even fathom how vast a sum that is. My dream car costs only $1 million. And this small jet is worth as much as 400 luxury cars? Chen Xiao smiled and said, All right, let us work hard and strive for me to acquire another one next year. The crowd responded enthusiastically, Yes, boss. Ma Biao cautiously inquired, If we buy another one, can I have a turn? Chen Xiao was at a loss for words, but he knew that as long as they performed well, anything was possible. Ma Biao was instantly elated. All right, brothers, did you hear that? From now on, let us all be spirited at work. His group of companions responded fervently. Chen Xiao chuckled as he wrapped his arm around Sun Ying's slender waist and exited the airport. Outside, in addition to 10 large vehicles, there were dozens of cars for various brands brought by Ma Biao's gang. Together, they formed a massive and chaotic convoy, encircling Chen Xiao as they sped towards the city. Such a large procession nearly monopolized the entire highway, making it impossible for other vehicles to pass, exuding an air of reckless arrogance. Furrowing his brow, Chen Xiao instructed his bodyguard, Have them line up. Let us not attract too much attention. Understood. After the bodyguard communicated via radio, the vast convoy fell into an orderly formation. Other vehicles that passed by speculated about the significance of the person within. They scrutinized the 10 large vehicles, but the tinted windows concealed any view. Upon arriving in the city, Chun Xiao dismissed Ma Biao and the others. In truth, Ma Biao's intentions were simple. Those in the underworld value face. They believed that a large entourage and numerous vehicles signified status. However, Chun Xiao had long transcended that level of superficiality. The respect he sought was beyond the reach of ordinary individuals. Chun Xiao asked, "Are Ma Biao and his group typically well-behaved?" Sun Ying replied, "They are quite compliant at the company. Many are self-studying legal knowledge, and with greater understanding comes natural caution." Chun Xiao nodded in agreement. This was indeed a positive development. A group of ruffians educated into individuals with cultural and legal awareness could be seen as a contribution to society by mitigating potential threats. Upon reaching the hotel, Chun Xiao asked, "Shall we eat first or?" Sun Ying shot him a glare, saying, "After such a long time apart, what do you mean by food? Let us go." She then pulled Chun Xiao into the elevator. As the saying goes, one must be well-fed to have strength. Yet, Chun Xiao endured his hunger while working. An unforgiving situation. Sun Ying was increasingly embodying the traits of capitalist, mercilessly exhausting those beneath her. It was only after Chun Xiao nearly succumbed to fatigue that she brought up the matter of dining. In the restaurant downstairs, Sun Ying savored the food with satisfaction. Chun Xiao enjoyed his meal heartily, relishing every morsel. "Come on, Junior, have some more oysters." "All right," he replied, accepting her invitation as his hunger was genuine. "Have a few more slices of geoduck." He was momentarily taken aback as the waiter brought out a plate of stir-fried kidney. Feeling something was amiss, he queried, "Senior, what is this?" Sun Ying shot him a look. "Have you been overworking yourself lately?" Chun Xiao exclaimed, "Damn, am I being looked down upon?" He tossed down his chopsticks, lost his appetite, and pulled Sun Ying away. "I must reclaim my dignity tonight," Sun Ying remarked. Chapter 388. I'll give you a surprise. When Chun Xiao became serious, he was an invincible force. Sun Ying learned a profound lesson and no longer dared to question. The moonlight, gentle and ethereal, cascaded upon her, rendering her as enchanting as a beautiful jade. Her eyelashes fluttered slightly, and it was uncertain whether she had fallen asleep. Chun Xiao casually picked up a cigarette, only to set it down again, contemplating the dangers of secondhand smoke. What if the senior sister? He pondered as he made his way to the living room of the suite, reclining comfortably on the sofa to indulge in a smoke. As Chun Xiao replayed the earlier scene in his mind, the sudden ringing of his phone broke his reverie. Glancing at the screen, he furrowed his brow. "Yan Ziyuan? Why is he calling me at this hour? Hello, what is it?" Last time at Zijing Manor, although Yan Ziyuan was kept in the dark, he had inadvertently aided Wang Tian by inviting him. Thus, Chun Xiao held no fondness for him. Were it not for his consideration of Yin Bingxin, Chun Xiao would have resolved to deal ruthlessly with him based solely on that incident. Yan Ziyuan's voice was somewhat hoarse, and his tone lacked the previous confidence and assurance of a wealthy magnate. Instead, it bore a hint of ingratiation. Mr. Chun, I hope I'm not disturbing you at such a late hour." Chun Xiao replied gravely, "Do you think a young tycoon like me, who has more money than he knows what to do with and is in prime health, would be idle at night?" Yan Ziyuan coughed awkwardly. "Apologies. I was just curious if you were with Bingxin." Chun Xiao silently scoffed. "Would you speak with such confidence if it were your daughter by my side?" He deliberately replied, "Oh no, I'm in Lijiang, surrounded by many women, but I can't recall their names." Yan Ziyuan responded, "Oh, Mr. Chun, you seem to be in high spirits." He showed no discontent about Chun Xiao's reckless behavior. "So, you're calling me this late just to inquire about my personal life?" Chun Xiao asked. "Oh no." Yan Ziyuan hastily replied, "Actually, I feel quite ashamed. Mr. Chun, I was foolish before." "Stop right there." Chun Xiao interrupted. "If you wish to confess, go find a church or a temple. I don't have time to listen to your nonsense." Despite Chun Xiao's repeated humiliation, Yan Ziyuan dared not show any anger. This was not merely due to his need for Chun Xiao's assistance, but also out of fear of the latter's current capabilities. The Wang family was indeed formidable, one of the prominent families in the country. But now, core members of the family were nearly extinct, with only Wang Tian hiding abroad, too afraid to return. The family had disintegrated, bringing an end to nearly a century of glory. How could he afford to offend Chun Xiao? As a mere local tycoon in Jining, if Chun Xiao desired, he could easily wipe him out. "All right, I apologize, Mr. Chun. I shall be direct. My Atlantic Capital Group is currently facing a financial crisis, and I seek your assistance." Chen Xiao was taken aback. You seek my help? You're in real estate. Why not just get a loan from the bank? Alas, Yan Ziyuan lamented. The matter of the land at Yindu number 13 has drained our company's cash flow and credit. No bank is willing to provide a loan now. Chen Xiao replied, the illustrious wealthiest man in Jining, a pillar of the province, is in such dire straits. One could only say it is a self-inflicted ordeal. Had it not been for the deep entanglement with the Wang family, one would not have descended to such a plight. Half of the Wang family's enterprises were acquired through deceit from so-called friends. Associating with them is akin to consorting with a tiger. Yindong, do you recall my request for you to bring 30% of the Atlantic Capital Group's shares along with the title deed of the Zijing Manor to me? Yin Ziyuan replied, how is that possible? You do not expect me to assist you without recompense, do you? On what grounds? Chen Xiao remarked. Yin Ziyuan found himself at a loss for words. If one were to assert their claim based solely on familial ties, even his own daughter might not recognize him as her father. Was it on account of my previous transgressions against you? After a prolonged silence, Yin Ziyuan sighed. I apologize for disturbing you, Mr. Chen. With that, he hung up the phone. Chen Xiao smiled. He had anticipated Yin Ziyuan's current predicament and felt no surprise. Discarding his cigarette, but he returned to his slumber. Meanwhile, Yin Ziyuan found himself restless. Clad in his pajamas, he poured himself a glass of fine liquor in the opulent living room. Reflecting on his life, he was engulfed in sorrow with no one to confide in. Before long, Lu Mei returned, her face aglow. Upon entering the living room, she wrinkled her nose in disdain at the smoky air. Why smoke so much? Yin Ziyuan felt a surge of emotion, thinking she was concerned for his health. Just as he was about to rise, Lu Mei added, it's suffocating. From now on, smoke outside. Yin Ziyuan resumed his seat on the sofa. Noticing his silence, Lu Mei, who initially intended to ascend the stairs, retreated and sat across from him on the sofa. With a serious demeanor, she stated, we need to talk. Yin Ziyuan was taken aback. He sensed the gravity of the situation. Since the Zijing Manor crisis, Lu Mei had shown him less respect than before. Following the Atlantic Capital Group's troubles, she had become increasingly distant, often absent from his sight. Speak your mind. What do you wish to discuss? Yin Ziyuan inquired. Lu Mei retrieved 2 documents and a pen from her bag, placing them on the coffee table. This is the divorce agreement. I have prepared the asset division. Please review it for any objections. Yin Ziyuan was momentarily stunned. Although he had anticipated this, the reality of it still surprised him, especially given that she had prepared everything in advance. After a lengthy silence, he straightened his posture, seized the divorce agreement, and scrutinized it before swiftly signing his name. This was far less burdensome than signing over shares. Lu Mei glanced over the document and signed her name as well, each retaining a copy, thus severing their ties. Aren't we going to spend one last night together? Yin Ziyuan asked. Just before departing, Lu Mei turned back and remarked, no need, I have other engagements. Yin Ziyuan said nothing further, returning to his drink. Lu Mei cast a final glance at his retreating figure before resolutely leaving. Thus, the Lu and Yin families parted ways, their only remaining bond being their shared stakes in the Atlantic Capital Group and its subsidiaries. Upon arriving at the parking lot, the driver inquired, Madam, where shall we go? Lu Mei paused and replied, from now on, please refer to me as Miss. The driver was taken aback. Oh, understood. Lu Mei then said, to the residence we frequently visit. All right then. After settling into the car, Lu Mei retrieved her phone. Hello, Xiaozheng. Shall I send someone to pick you up? Tonight, I have a surprise for you. Chapter 389. Approach me, and I'll strike you down unbeknownst to Chen Xiao. Events unfolding in the Yin family were beyond his grasp. The following day, with the sun high in the sky, the two finally rose from their slumber. Chen Xiao had scheduled an inspection of the progress on the Snow Mountain Town Hotel Group's project. After lunch, the group set off for their destination. Sunning playfully chided. So early in the morning, aren't you tired? Chen Xiao chuckled. I cannot lose face in front of my senior. Sunning remarked. Now you see how impressive you are, right? Chen Xiao smiled, but remained silent, thinking to himself that with so many friends, he could easily handle any situation. Upon arriving at the Snow Mountain Town project site, the foundation had already been laid, revealing the project's initial form. The planning met Chen Xiao's expectations. In the distance, the picturesque landscape of lakes and mountains unfolded, with the water crystal clear. Glancing upward, the clouds drifted gracefully across the sky, allowing one to envision the throngs of tourists that would flock to the completed project. For at least the next 8 years, business would be thriving. With Qian Lake Investment Company overseeing the operations, everything progressed smoothly. Chen Xiao did not necessarily need to be present. but he made the trip to demonstrate his respect for his senior. That evening, back in Lijiang, Chen Xiao dined with several friends of Sun Ying, leaving him with a favorable impression of them. At the very least, their willingness to intervene during his earlier conflict with Ma Biao was commendable. Just before the gathering, Sun Ying cautioned, "Junior, you must be wary of Wang Lang." Chen Xiao was taken aback. "That effeminate man? What's the matter?" Sun Ying explained. "Since you left last time, he has frequently mentioned you during our gatherings." Chen Xiao was puzzled. "What does he bring me up for?" Sun Ying continued. "It's not about him mentioning you. It's the expression he wears when he does." She shuddered slightly at the thought. Chen Xiao reassured her. "It's fine. Do you still doubt my orientation?" Sun Ying replied. "I certainly believe in you. But I do not trust him. Just keep your distance." Chen Xiao sighed. All right, I understand. Let's go." At the restaurant's entrance, the group spotted Chen Xiao and Sun Ying, rushing out to greet them. "Ying, it's been ages. You look even more beautiful," exclaimed Wang Shuman. Sun Ying smiled. "Shuman, you too." Wang Lang interjected with a grin. "I must say, Mr. Chen Xiao exudes even more charm than before, akin to a noble gentleman, unmatched in this world." Chen Xiao retorted, "What the heck?" Sun Ying's smile vanished instantly. She had never anticipated that her rival would be a man. "Step aside." She forcefully nudged Wang Lang aside and linked arms with Chen Xiao as they entered the restaurant. Behind them, the others exchanged glances, with Wang Shuman warning, "Wang Lang, know your limits. Do you think Chen Xiao is someone you can toy with?" Wang Lang fidgeted and adjusted his clothing, unsure of the preferences of the wealthy. Wang Shuman thought to herself that had they not been longtime friends, and moreover, close companions, she would have been inclined to expel him from her presence. In the living room, pleasantries exchanged, someone courteously offered a cigarette to Chen Xiao. He examined it briefly, glanced at Sun Ying's belly, and refrained from smoking, placing the cigarette on the table instead. Observing this, the others discreetly followed suit and set their cigarettes aside. Sun Ying blushed, feeling a sweet warmth in her heart as she subtly grasped Chen Xiao's hand on the table. At that moment, Wang Shuman and Wang Lang entered, and the gathering was complete. A group of friends from various corners of the world, striving in Lijiang, commenced the feast. To dine with someone of Chen Xiao's stature was enough to boast about in their social circles for years. Fortunately, their social media updates were not scheduled for release for a few days. Otherwise, their posts would undoubtedly flood the feed. Among them were owners of goose houses and bars, sharing tales of eccentric individuals they had encountered, occasionally drumming and singing folk songs, which Chen Xiao found quite entertaining. This place attracted 40 to 50 million tourists annually, bringing together a medley of unique characters. Beyond the captivating stories, it contributed over 100 billion in tourism revenue to the local economy. After a satisfying meal, with stories shared, Chen Xiao glanced at his watch. The group quickly picked up on the cue and suggested it was getting late, proposing to conclude the gathering. Chen Xiao nodded, and they promptly rose to escort him out, leaving Sun Ying behind with Wang Shuman. Noticing that Sun Ying had not followed, Chen Xiao decided to take a moment to smoke while he waited for her. As he raised the cigarette, a lighter suddenly appeared beside him. Turning to see Wang Lang, Chen Xiao felt a twinge of surprise. Wang Lang leaned in with the flame, and after a moment's hesitation, Chen Xiao lit the cigarette and then withdrew his hand. He frowned at the overpowering scent of Wang Lang's cologne, one that could likely be detected from several miles away. "May I take a photo with you?" Chen Xiao recalled Sun Ying's words, wishing to avoid any distasteful implications associated with his image. "Apologies, but the fortune teller advised against photography for me this year," he replied. Wang Lang did not press further and instead inquired, "Are women enjoyable?" Coughing, Chen Xiao nearly choked on the smoke. "It's fine," he managed. Discussing women with another man should have posed no discomfort. Yet with Wang Lang, Chen Xiao felt an inexplicable unease. Wang Lang handed him a business card, remarking that sometimes changing preferences could be refreshing. Gender should not be so rigidly defined. "Goodness!" Chen Xiao exclaimed, startled. Wang Lang joked, "My elder is quite aged. How do you find me?" Chen Xiao retorted, "Good grief." He gestured, and instantly, four burly men appeared. Pointing at Wang Lang, he commanded, "Throw this scoundrel out. If he comes within 10 meters of me again, act without hesitation." "Yes, leave." The bodyguards promptly whisked Wang Lang away, who shouted back, "I await your call. I'm available anytime." Unbelievable. Chen Xiao crouched down, smoking several cigarettes in succession to quell the nausea rising within him. Alas, the charm I possess. Initially, Wang Lang was not so inclined. Unbeknownst to him, since his last visit, Wang Lang had completely embraced his new identity. Shortly thereafter, Sun Ying emerged and, noticing Chen Zhao's pallor, inquired with concern, What troubles you, my dear? Chun Xiao waved his hand, expressing a desire to keep his distance from Wang Lang, remarking, I nearly felt nauseous. Sun Ying chuckled, assuring him, as long as you maintain your distance, he wouldn't dare approach me. I've given him quite a few stern lessons. With that, Chun Xiao felt reassured and suggested, then let us depart and return home to start family. Sun Ying added, some friends earlier asked me to see if you would be willing to take a group photo with them. A group photo? Chun Xiao replied. Then let's hurry and take one. We must not delay our business. Sun Ying cast a playful glance at him before dashing back to gather the others. They lined up in an orderly fashion, and a designated photographer, armed with a DSLR, captured the moment, fulfilling their wishes. Only then did Chun Xiao extricate himself, escorting Sun Ying back to the hotel. Unbeknownst to all, in the upper left corner of the photo, perched upon a branch, sat a shadowy figure making a peace sign. Once everyone had departed, it descended and coldly sneered, foolish deceiver. Did you not proclaim that no photographs were permitted this year? Huh, no one can overlook me, Wang Lang. On their journey home, Chun Xiao proposed, in a few days accompany me back. We shall first stop in Jining, and then I will escort you home to Beisheng. Sun Ying pondered for a moment before nodding in agreement. All right, would you care to visit my home? Chun Xiao was taken aback. Is that permissible? Sun Ying whispered in his ear, indeed, and we might unlock new experiences. Chun Xiao's spirits immediately surged. He reminisced about their time together before her graduation, on tennis and basketball courts. By the way, I purchased a private jet, did you know? Sun Ying's cheeks flushed. How naughty. Chapter 390. Year-end summary a few days later. Sun Ying concluded her business affairs and joined Chun Xiao on his return to Jining. Unlike their previous journey, Chun Xiao was accompanied by only 2 bodyguards, having arranged for the others to purchase tickets back to Jining Airport in advance. They boarded his private jet together. Upon seeing Sun Ying, the flight attendant was taken aback. It was no wonder the boss would travel such a distance to the southwest. This beauty was simply stunning. Little did she know, Sun Ying held a special place in Chun Xiao's heart, one that transcended mere beauty, rooted in her selfless support during his humble beginnings. Experiencing a private jet for the first time, Sun Ying was as exuberant as a young girl, marveling at the novelty of it all. Having a completely private space in the sky was an exceedingly luxurious affair, especially in an era where the economy had yet to flourish as it would a decade later. The bodyguards discreetly settled in the galley, refraining from entering the cabin. Once airborne, the flight attendant approached. Mr. Chum, may I offer you something to drink? Chun Xiao smiled. No need. For this journey, you may rest. There's no need for you to attend to us. The flight attendant paused, glancing at Sun Ying's pleated skirt and white stockings, seemingly understanding the situation. Her cheeks flushed slightly. Oh, very well. She then turned to leave. The cabin now contained only Chun Xiao and Sun Ying, who, in order to conserve space, chose to share a single seat. The airplane weaves continually through the clouds, plunging into the pristine white vapor and ruthlessly tearing it apart. Sunlight cascades in a spectrum of colors, illuminating the sky's profound depths. A solitary sun hangs suspended, gradually shifting its position in tandem with the aircraft's movement, casting its light upon every corner of the cabin. The roaring jet engines emit a powerful force, propelling the passengers at an astonishing pace. The plane lands at Jining Airport, where Lin Yanran stands momentarily stunned upon seeing the woman in her boss's embrace, triggering a flurry of memories, especially that clandestine encounter hidden beneath the office desk. Yanran escorts Sun Ying to the hotel for a brief respite. Oh, very well, she replies. Chun Xiao and Sun Ying part ways at the airport. He must attend to matters at the company, while Lin Yanran accompanies Sun Ying to the hotel with her assistant. After their departure, the flight crew tidies up the aircraft to ensure no belongings are left behind before handing it over to the professional cleaning team. The flight attendant enters the cabin, surveying the scattered debris and the imprints on the seats, and is instantly lost in thought. In the luxury vehicle, Sun Ying adjusts her seat to the most comfortable position, the blush on her cheeks gradually fading. Glancing at the lovely girl beside her, she cannot help but inquire, Yanran, have you ever slept with your boss? Startled, Lin Yanran gasps, never expecting such a provocative question from Sun Ying. No, certainly not, she stammers, waving her hands in haste. How strange, Sun Ying muses. Could a lecherous man truly overlook such a beautiful woman? Lin Yanran sighs inwardly, pondering how her boss managed to let such an opportunity slip by. Yanran, really? Has your boss not pursued a single girl in the company? Lin Yanran insists, no. My boss is quite devoted. Her declaration is resolute, her eyes unwavering. Sun Ying bursts into laughter. All right, I shall not press you further. But do you harbor feelings for your boss? Lin Yinran finds herself in a quandary. To admit affection in front of her boss's partner seems inappropriate. Yet to deny, it raises the risk of Sun Ying relaying the information to him. Observing her expression, Sun Ying deduces the answer. Why not come to my room tonight? I could share some tips on how to win over your boss, she suggests. Lin Yinran feels a twinge of embarrassment, not for the proposition, but rather considering Sun Ying's solitude in the hotel. In the evening, I will keep you company, she offers. Sun Ying mentions that Chun Xiao first returned to Banhai Yayuan to visit Su Tang, only to find her absent. Upon inquiry, he learns that she has gone to handle a minor issue with an executive at Fanhai Entertainment. After a phone call to check on her well-being, Chun Xiao heads back to the company, intending to distribute year-end bonuses before heading home. After all, the team has worked diligently under his guidance for half a year, and it is time for some well-deserved cheer. Boss, the annual summary is complete, Lin Yinran announces, impeccably dressed and carrying a folder. Oh, let me see, Chun Xiao replies. He has not closely calculated his earnings over the past year. Upon opening the document, he nods repeatedly, realizing why old Zhou had taken such interest. The profits amassed over the past 6 months are indeed substantial. Though gradually immersed in various enterprises, they have all transformed into substantial assets. Should Chun Xiao require it, he can liquidate them at any moment. What he possesses are all premium assets. In summary, Chun Xiao's assets can be categorized into several major segments. Under the Tang Xiao Capital Group are Qianhu Investment Company, Fanhai Entertainment Group, Black Shield Security Group, Live Streaming Group, and Tang Xiao Real Estate Group. Among these, Qianhu Investment Company holds stakes in several entities, including Diandian Takeout and Shueshan Town Tourism Group, as well as the Jining University Backstreet Commercial Development Company, among others. Fanhai Entertainment Group encompasses a plethora of subsidiaries, including film companies, cinema chains, variety shows, modeling agencies, and more. Black Shield Security Group boasts bases in LN County, Jining, Lijiang, and several overseas branches, with personnel nearing 10,000, establishing itself as a prominent security company in the country. The Live Streaming Group, beyond its streaming services, has also initiated the creation of 2 competing brands, Cattooth and Shark, following Chun Xiao's directives, which are currently in the process of development. Regarding the Tang Xiao Real Estate Group, after investing 300 billion to acquire Plot 13 from Old Zhou, Chun Xiao has successfully increased his shareholding to over 80%, achieving controlling interest. Presently, numerous projects across various locations, including Jining, Modu, Yindu, and Beishang, are simultaneously underway. The fastest among them is the semi-finished project in Ice City, which will be ready for commercial renovations shortly after the new year, with an anticipated opening in March. Chun Xiao estimated that the combined value of all his companies amounts to approximately 200 billion. However, his cash reserves are rather meager. After paying Old Zhou 300 billion for the land purchase, only 6 billion remains at his disposal. Yet, Chun Xiao harbors no concerns regarding financial matters, for the accounts of each group still hold substantial funds. When necessary, it would not be an issue to withdraw 100 billion or so. The current market valuation of Tang Xiao Capital Group, standing at over 200 billion, is merely temporary. In a few years, it is conceivable that Diandian Takeout alone could surpass 1 trillion in value. Of course, that is a discussion for another time. For now, Diandian Takeout is still a provincial enterprise, with a valuation of merely several billion. Chun Xiao closed the documents, feeling quite satisfied. Despite having only 6 billion in disposable cash, it would suffice for year-end bonuses and New Year spending. After all, the financial department continues to generate a profit of 1 to 2 million daily. However, how should the year-end bonuses be distributed? Contemplating this, Chun Xiao looked up and asked, Yinyu, what would you like for the new year this year? I don't want anything. I've saved a lot of money already. Chun Xiao chuckled. A lot of money? How much is that? Lin Yinyu hesitated and raised a single finger. 10,000. Chun Xiao replied, that is hardly enough to buy a car. Huh? A car? Suddenly, Chun Xiao had an idea. Why not distribute cars as bonuses? Chapter 391. Bugatti. Lin Yinyu exclaimed, cars? Really? Chun Xiao affirmed and picked up the phone to call Tang Xiaofei, whom he had not contacted for quite some time. Hello, President Tang, where are you? Surprised to receive a call from Chun Xiao, Tang Xiaofei signaled for those around him to be quiet. Then he responded, haha, I just returned to Jining. What instructions do you have for me, boss? Chun Xiao, don't be so formal. I have a request of you. Tang Xiaofei replied, what request? Just tell me, and I shall take care of it. Chun Xiao smiled, saying, I need a batch of Mercedes-Benz cars. Tang Xiaofei quickly caught on to the word batch. Goodness, ye. This ISNTA request. It's an order. Not a problem at all. How many do you need? Chun Xiao pondered for a moment. Various models? Let us go for 50. Tang Xiaofei exclaimed. At an average price of 500,000 each, that is 25 million. Who buys cars like this? Oh, and also, 50 each of BMW and Audi. See if anyone around you has resources. Tang Xiaofei was utterly stunned. Brother, what on earth do you need so many cars for? Chun Xiao replied. It's the end of the year. I'm giving the employees some New Year gifts. Tang Xiaofei said. No problem with the gifts. But I must ask, does your company need more staff? What is the contact number for job applications? Chun Xiao chuckled. Don't joke. You wouldn't even be interested in cars of this caliber. Tang Xiaofei was genuinely taken aback. Just purchasing these vehicles would cost over $500 million. Truly, this is Chun Xiao, a man of extravagant generosity, a reputation unheard of in the Jining territory. Xiaoge is impressive. Other brands, Mengzi Lauda has a few BMW dealerships. He.S. organizing a party at the club in a few days. Do you want to join? Chun Xiao thought for a moment. He had been too busy lately and hadn't even taken his Bugatti out for a spin since bringing it back. Sure, I'll be there. Great. Chun Xiao's agreement to attend the party thrilled Zhang Ming. For in the circles of the second generation in Jining, what does it mean to have face? To have Chun Xiao attend is the pinnacle of prestige. With his rising power, Chun Xiao's status has long surpassed that of their fathers. Such events are generally off-limits for the average person to intrude upon. Zhang Ming immediately called, excitedly asking, Xiaoge, when will you arrive? Chun Xiao replied, that depends on when your party is. No, Zhang Ming insisted. Whenever is convenient for you. I'll schedule it then. Tonight works too. Chun Xiao, let us go with tonight. It's the end of the year, and there's much to do. A little driving to relax sounds good. Zhang Ming was momentarily taken aback, but then said, all right, I'll get everything ready. After hanging up, Chun Xiao instructed Lin Yinyu. Have someone prepare the Bugatti. I'll be driving it tonight. Understood, boss. Lin Yinyu turned to leave. The logistics department has professionals responsible for maintaining Chun Xiao's vehicles. For this supercar valued at over 20 million, they have given it the utmost attention. Since its return, it has occupied a dedicated enclosed exhibition area in the garage, while other Ferraris and Lamborghinis have been relegated to the side. Furthermore, this car has yet to be started since it arrived. The mileage remains as it was when it left the factory. Master Zhao, the boss will be driving Bugatti tonight. Please give it a thorough check. Upon hearing this, Zhao Hai, the chief engineer of the logistics department, stood up excitedly. He had always wanted to hear the roar of a 16-cylinder engine. However, who would dare touch it in the boss's absence? Even a minor scratch would be beyond what an ordinary person could afford, even with meticulous care in daily maintenance. Every potential contact point was padded with soft towels in advance, lest any marks mar the surface. So, is the boss heading to the city or the racetrack? Lin Yinyu, lacking understanding of these matters, inquired further. After a brief phone call to the office, she relayed to Zhao Hai, the boss will be hitting the racetrack tonight. Got it. Xiao Wang, Xiao Li, quickly bring over the racetrack tires. Shortly thereafter, for specialized metal boxes were wheeled in. Lin Yinyu was taken aback. Do tires really require such exquisite packaging? Zhao Hai chuckled. Do you have any idea how much these tires cost? Confused, Lin Yinyu shook her head. Although she had heard that tires could range from hundreds to thousands, she could not fathom the price of Bugatti tires. Zhao Hai held up a finger. These are top-tier racetrack tires, priced at 150,000 each. Lin Yinyu's eyes widened in disbelief. 15150,000 each? So that's exactly 600,000 for all four. Zhao Hai confirmed. Lin Yinyu gasped. Just the tires cost 600,000? My monthly salary is over 10,000, which is commendable in my industry. Yet, the savings from a year's work wouldn't even suffice to purchase a single tire. Though accustomed to her boss's spending habits, she was still astonished by such minute details. Once everything was in place, Chun Xiao descended from the upper floor. Good evening, boss. The team greeted their leader with genuine respect for the individual who had brought them prosperity. Thank you for your hard work, he acknowledged. Not at all. It's no trouble, came a collective reply. Zhao Hai and the others stood by, eager to witness the Bugatti's ignition. Chun Xiao had donned a racing suit and equipped himself with a specialized helmet. Today was intended for thrills, a test of the limits of this performance beast. With its low-slung body and sci-fi design, the car exuded an aura of uniqueness. Chun Xiao opened the door and slid into the driver's seat, casually tossing the helmet onto the passenger side. Feeling the steering wheel was awkward, he attempted to adjust it, only to discover it was manual. Damn it! Such an expensive car, and it lacks electric steering wheel adjustment. After setting the steering wheel, Chun Xiao adjusted the seat. Goodness, the seat is manual too. With a resigned sigh, he got everything in order, inserted the key, turned it, and started the engine. Everything seemed rather unremarkable. However, once the engine roared to life, the 16-cylinder engine erupted with a ferocious growl, deep and resonant, reminiscent of a dragon-esque roar or a tiger-esque roar, capable of instilling fear. Just the sound alone sent adrenaline surging through Zhao Hai and the others. Chun Xiao was momentarily stunned. Wow, this feels incredible. With over 1,000 horsepower from that 16-cylinder engine, who needs electric steering or seats? He slammed the accelerator, and the tires violently skidded against the pavement, emitting clouds of smoke and a deafening screech. The basement instantly filled with the acrid scent of burnt rubber, quickly whisked away by the exhaust system. Zhao Hai and the others were left speechless. With tires worth over 600,000, how many times can you do this? Inside the car, Chun Xiao remained unconcerned about the value of the vehicle. For him, it was all about the thrill. He suddenly felt an overwhelming force pressing him firmly into the seat, prompting Chun Xiao to quickly release the accelerator. In a mere 2 seconds, the speed of the car nearly soared to 100 kilometers per hour. Incredible! Chun Xiao cautiously navigated the vehicle out of the underground garage. Upon reaching Binhai Road, he fully pressed the accelerator to relish the thrill. The car's thunderous roar stirred a rush of excitement within him, while the scenery outside the windows blurred into a rapid retreat. This posed quite a challenge for the security team, as they were driving their so-called luxury cars, struggling to keep up with the Bugatti Veyron. Fortunately, Thunder had made prior arrangements, allowing a portion of the team to depart ahead. Thus, no matter where Chun Xiao ventured, there were always allies nearby. On the ring road, countless eyes were drawn to this magnificent machine. Many wished to follow but dared not get too close, including a Porsche 911. In the unfortunate event of a serious collision, the repair costs would far exceed the insurance coverage, making it unwise to risk any responsibility. Even on the highway, this steel beast felt constrained, unable to unleash even half of its potential. Under the scrutiny of the crowd, they arrived at Zhang Meng's club. The sound of the 16-cylinder engine was distinctive, recognizable from a distance. Goodness, whose car is that? My word, is it a 16-cylinder? Let's go take a look. A group of affluent youths instantly transformed in expression. Most individuals frequenting this venue were car enthusiasts, and upon hearing the roar of the 16-cylinder engine, they could hardly contain their excitement. They rushed downstairs just in time to see the Bugatti entering the club. What? A Bugatti? Ning has a Bugatti? Who is this big shot? The sudden presence of such a rare vehicle in the club sent the local elite into a frenzy. Everyone hastily pulled out their phones, immediately switching to camera mode. Zhang Meng and Tang Xiaofei were equally stunned. Is that Brother Xiao? Xiong Xiao asked uncertainly. Of course, if Ning has a Bugatti, it must belong to Brother Xiao. Who else could it be? With a roar and a couple of swift accelerations, the car came to a halt like a swift blade at the entrance of the leisure area. Chun Xiao stepped out. Zhang Meng and the others rushed forward, exclaiming, Brother Xiao, this is incredible. Where did you acquire it? Chun Xiao smiled. It's been a while. I didn't intend to get one, but someone insisted on gifting it to me. The crowd marveled at his status, lamenting, look at his stature. He doesn't even need to spend his own money to drive a Bugatti. The envy among these wealthy youths was palpable, as they secretly dreamed of a day when their own prestige could command such value. Zhang Meng, wide-eyed, circled the car 3 times before stopping. Brother Xiao, may I sit in it? Chun Xiao replied nonchalantly. Of course, isn't a car meant for driving and seating? With this remark, his standing in the eyes of the affluent youths elevated significantly. They pondered. If they would spend over a year's profit from their father's company to acquire such a vehicle, they would hardly allow just anyone to sit in it. This car was far too valuable. A decade hence, the number of Bugattis within the country would scarcely exceed 10. Those who could afford such luxury are predominantly older, often lacking an affinity for sports cars. Conversely, the youthful enthusiasts capable of acquiring a Bugatti are exceedingly rare, with the present generation showing a notable absence. While Tang Xiaofei and Zhang Meng may possess the financial means, they would likely face severe repercussion from their fathers for such indulgences. Thus, the fervor surrounding the Bugatti is entirely understandable. Additionally, Chun Xiao's esteemed status plays a significant role. Aligning oneself with such a prominent figure would confer considerable prestige during familial ancestral rites. Brother Xiao is remarkable. Zhang Ming remarked before being the first to dive into the cockpit, his hands exploring the interior with delight. Especially after pressing the accelerator twice, his expression intensified with exhilaration. The others, however, did not share the same closeness with Chen Xiao as Zhang Ming did, merely content to sit in the driver's seat for a photograph. Once everyone had their turn to experience the vehicle, Chen Xiao declared, "Clear the track. I shall take a lap." Absolutely. This suggestion was met with unanimous enthusiasm, as all present eagerly anticipated witnessing the Bugatti's performance. The track was swiftly cleared. Chen Xiao settled into the car, securing his helmet. "Brother Xiao, may I ride shotgun?" Zhang Ming inquired. "You're not a girl. Why would you want to sit in the passenger seat?" Chen Xiao retorted. "Hey, there are plenty of girls around. I simply wish to experience this. I only have one helmet." Chen Xiao replied. "Not to worry. At high speed, it makes little difference whether one wears it or not." Zhang Ming insisted. "Fine, get in." Chen Xiao relented. Immediately, bystanders positioned their cameras, while many retrieved their phones to capture the moment. The Bugatti roared twice, its tires spinning fiercely. In the blink of an eye, it surged past 100 kilometers per hour. Wow! Zhang Ming found himself breathless, nearly overwhelmed by the sheer inertia. The entire world around him blurred into a rapid retreat. His heart raced, adrenaline coursing through his veins, and sweat sprang forth in his palms. The engine's roar reverberated, shaking him to his core. Chen Xiao gripped the steering wheel firmly. 260, 299, 355, 371, 392. At this moment, any minuscule error could spell disaster. This velocity far surpassed that of contemporary high-speed trains. Slow down, Brother Xiao." Zhang Ming, accustomed to speed, shouted frantically. Chen Xiao remained undistracted. Now is not the time for divergence of focus. As the speed reached 410 kilometers per hour, he felt as though his very soul were about to detach from his body. The engine's roar crescendoed to a fever pitch. Were it not for his exceptional physical condition, he might have succumbed to the overwhelming sensation. "Oh yeah, incredible!" Chen Xiao exclaimed. The spectators stood in stunned silence. "Goodness, this isn't merely fast. It's as if we're flying too low. Utterly terrifying. Over 20 million. Truly worth every penny." The exhilarating pace was sustained for over a minute before Chen Xiao finally eased off the accelerator. The vehicle gradually decelerated, gliding for several kilometers until it came to a near halt at the entrance. Chen Xiao emerged from the car, removed his helmet, and took a deep breath, instantly feeling a wave of refreshment wash over him. Meanwhile, Zhang Ming clambered out of the passenger seat and promptly vomited. "Damn, Mengzi, you can't handle it either." A friend mocked nearby. Zhang Ming wiped his mouth, his face slightly pale. "Damn, you try it, you bastard. It's hard to keep up." The others, despite their curiosity, hesitated to voice their desire to attempt the same. After a brief respite, Zhang Ming and Chen Xiao, along with others, made their way to the lounge area, where a crowd remained gathered around a Bugatti, snapping photos. Zhang Ming tossed a stack of photographs and documents onto the table. "Xiao Ge, I prepared everything for you." Chen Xiao picked them up, puzzled. "What is this? A health report?" Zhang Ming chuckled. "Exactly. Clean and hygienic, all car models." "What for?" Chen Xiao inquired. "Didn't you say you wanted to drive and unwind?" Chen Xiao retorted. "I meant driving a real car." Zhang Ming replied. "I didn't know. I thought it was one of those cars. Since we're here, let's go take a look." As they entered the club's private space, Chen Xiao glanced inside and was taken aback by the sight of a row of long-legged beauties dressed in revealing attire, each possessing stunning figures. Among the crowd of car models, their beauty was unparalleled. "Xiao Ge, how about we wait for you to have dinner?" Zhang Ming suggested. "Breakfast is fine too," Tang Xiaofei added. Zhang Ming continued. "Xiao Ge, most of them have just entered the industry. You know what I mean? They're not like the usual ones who are utterly useless. Plus, I've inquired, and Sister Qin is in Yindu. She wants to be back. Don't worry, they're all yours." Chen Xiao interrupted. "What do you take me for? Hurry up, let us go." The next day, in the courtyard of the Tang Xiao Capital Group, the roadside was filled with brand new vehicles. The employees were astonished. "Are we opening 4 stores? No way. Our group specializes in finance. How can we acquire so many cars?" Their doubts were short-lived as the chairman's office soon made an announcement via the intercom. "Thank you all for your contributions to the company. The boss has decided to reward everyone with a generous gift